Hey, this is Bob with Ozark Cedar Hives. Today I want to show you how I assemble beehive frames. Method I've come up with that I think is pretty fast and efficient and does a good job. Hope maybe it'll be of help to you. Usually since it's inside the hive, I use Type Bond 2 for the frames. That's plenty sufficient since they're not going to be exposed to the outdoors. However, if you're also assembling the hive bodies and supers as well, and you only want to buy one glue, then Type Bond 3 would do for both of them. Now you need this at least for the supers, and so if you just want to use the same glue on the frames, you can do that too. Of course, I like to have it in a nice little handy bottle there, easier to handle. I use a stapler. It's an air stapler. This is rigid. I get it at the Direct Tools outlet stores at some of the malls around. I've used this thousands of staples. It's held up really well. And so if you've already got an air compressor, you might want to think about getting an air stapler. If you don't have a stapler or a compressor, you may not want to make that investment, and so you can go assemble them with hammer and the nails as well. So here we go. We're going to put some together. We'll get the camera a little closer and we'll see how it goes. So a lot of times I'll do 10 frames at a time. Today we're just going to do 5. You start with the top frames, or on upside down here. I've got them on top of an old super. You want the height here for your glue to drip away. So you need some cardboard or something down there if you got a nice table underneath. Put a bead of glue along this side here. You want to hold it up on that vertical part, and then the glue will run on down into the rest of it. So do that on both sides. Don't worry about glue dripping everywhere. That means we've got plenty of glue. Then I spread them out a little bit on the top of this box. Then I grab end bars, one in each hand, and push down at the same time. That'll keep the top bar in place. Usually they slip right in. If they don't seem like they're going in, don't worry about it. We're going to deal with that a little bit later. So we put all those on. Get them on there, then kind of bring them together, maybe back towards you a little bit. Now you take the glue bottle and squeeze it just so there's a little drop of glue, or a little ball of glue right at the end, and then just wipe that off on the inside of that joint, on the inside, both sides there. Just keep squeezing so there's a little blob or a little drop of glue on the end, and just wipe it off as you go down through here. And of course, that way it's up on the sides of that inside joint, and also, of course, runs down into the rest of it. Then we've got the bottom bars. Push them down on there, both sides. Again, if they don't quite go on, don't worry too much about it. We're going to tap them down here a little bit. Some of the end bars have slots in the end, some don't. It doesn't really. Either way, that works fine. And make sure the ends are kind of even. This one here is sticking out a little bit. Push them over. Okay. Then take a hammer. You can use a regular hammer. Don't hit too hard, or a rubber hander. Just tap on that to make sure those joints mesh very good. Then now we're ready for the stapler. We're going to put a staple in down through the bottom bar. I'm using 1-inch long staples. You can use 1 1/4 as well. I don't think they need to go longer than 1 1/4. Then another good, here's important, through the end bar into the top bar. This joint down here, this joint here is probably takes the most stress of the frame. You get a lot of honey in there. So I like to put a staple through the end bar into the top bar like this. adds a lot of strength. Of course, the glue is important. Down the top bar, down through the top bar into the end bar. Takes a little practice with the stapler. Sometimes you get blowouts, but after a while you get onto it. You won't get very many. Even if you do, it's no big deal. Of course, there's glue dripping down on the end bar, but I don't worry. Okay, so we did all 5 of those. I didn't time it. I'm sure it didn't take very long. To check, usually they're pretty straight. This actually was a jig that I made that some people recommend. But I found out time I got them in there, it took forever getting them out. It seemed like it twisted them all up just to get them out. So I found if I do it up here, there aren't any. They're usually pretty straight. But to check the straightness, just lay them on a good flat table and opposing, turn it around, bottom to top. And if there's any twisting in there, there's a little bit right there. That one, or it could be the one below it. Yeah, the one below it, just a hair twist. It really wouldn't have been a problem. You can just tweak a little bit while the glue's still fresh. Lay them down there, and then that way you know they're straight. These are mediums, and like I say, they don't twist that much. Even a little twist is not going to make a big difference. With the deep frames, you might want to be a little more careful, because the twist on the deep frame is going to be a little more problem. So then, just leave it there or set it off to the side somewhere on a flat place and let the glue dry. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps.